wild card race is tight in the NFC, and the Eagles and Saints are both in it. They play in Week 11. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this matchup. And Swagoo, who you got in this one?
I'm taking Philly, Phil. It's not 100%, but I feel good about what Jalen Hurts has been doing. Sirianni has him on the move. This offense is starting to click, and Jalen Hurts is quietly playing really good football because they're allowing him to be an athlete as well as a quarterback. He's standing strong in the pocket. They're using him on RPO. It seems that they found something. Dallas Goedert with a new contract. All things are well in Philly right now. I think it continues against the New Orleans Saints.
That should be a good matchup against that very, very good Saints defense. Philly looking to build on some momentum after their win in Week 10. All of a sudden, the Dolphins are hot. They look to keep up their hot streak from Week 10 against the Jets in Week 11. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this one. We know to be Joe Flacco under center for the Jets. Can he lead New York to a victory?
No, he cannot, Phil. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins. Did a phenomenal job last outing against Lamar Jackson. I think that pressure and those blitzes will get to Joe Flacco as well. Look, the Jets are trying to figure things out. This is a complete rebuild. They have to figure out where they want to trend going forward for the future. Obviously, that'll be Zach Wilson in the cards. But for right now, the Jets are in flux, and Miami seems to be catching a little bit of a stride like they did last year. I'm going with the Dolphins.
It might be too little, too late, but Miami is in the middle of a stretch that includes some winnable games for them, especially after that upset in Week 10. It's a reunion game in Carolina. Not only is Cam Newton back and starting for the Carolina Panthers, but Ron Rivera, his longtime head coach, is also back, coaching now for the Washington football team. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this game. And Swagoo, it's the first time that Cam and Ron Rivera face off as opponents in this capacity. Who comes out on top?
I'm taking the Carolina Panthers, Phil, and it's all emotional. I want to see Cam have success, bottom line. But honestly, I think this RPO and zone read in the backfield with him and Christian McCaffrey is going to be very difficult to defend. You look at Washington football team coming off a really good win, playing well, starting to figure some things out. Obviously, you losing Chase Young is not going to help when you start talking about trying to stop this Carolina Panthers defense. I think Christian McCaffrey and Cam Newton use zone read and RPOs to open up a little bit of this offense, and they have a win on their belt.
Yeah, one thing we know for sure, it'll be an emotional impact at stadium in that game before things get going. Two major contributors to a lot of success back in Carolina for the first time in a while. A huge one in the AFC as the Indianapolis Colts head to Buffalo to face off against the Bills. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this matchup. Marcus, Indy has been better of late. Can they pull the upset in Buffalo?
I don't think so, babyface. I think this is going to be about the Bills. And obviously, the number one thing you have to do is stop the run against the Indianapolis Colts and try to stymie that and put the ball in Carson Wentz's hands. And against that Buffalo Bills secondary, I'm not comfortable with Carson Wentz having to throw 40-plus times in a football game. And then when you flip to the other side for Buffalo, I want to see them assert some type of run game, but not lose the identity and the ability to go downfield. I think the Buffalo Bills take this one against Carson Wentz and the Indianapolis Colts.
The Colts know they really haven't beaten a team with a quarterback anywhere near the caliber of Josh Allen. We'll see if they can pull the upset on Sunday. The Lions technically are undefeated in November. The Browns are coming off of a humbling performance against New England. Something's got to give. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this matchup. Swagoo, can the Browns get back on track in a spot that feels like it should be a comfortable win?
I believe they do, Phil, but the fact that I had to think about this pick says a lot about where the Browns are right now. Look, the Lions had a really good game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, established the run game, a physical presence like Dan Campbell wants to do. I have to believe that the Cleveland Browns are going to respond. After a 45-7 loss against the New England Patriots, I got the Cleveland Browns winning this game on defense.
Meanwhile, the Browns could actually be the healthier side at the quarterback spot, even with all the injuries that Baker Mayfield is playing through. He will start on Sunday for Cleveland. The 49ers are traveling a long way on a short week, but are still favorites against the Jaguars. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this matchup. Can San Francisco keep it up after an incredible performance in Week 10?
Yes, Phil, they do. I think they got back to what their DNA is, and that's running the football in an intricate run game, very difficult to defend from a scheme standpoint and physicality. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo played from a level of comfort because of the success that they were having on the ground against the Los Angeles Rams. I think they continue that. It's about time Kyle Shanahan's offense showed up, and I think they continue that path going forward.
Well, don't look now, but if the 49ers do win, they'd be back to 500 and right back in the NFC wildcard race. The Titans just keep rolling. Now they face the Houston Texans, who have not won a game since week 1. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this one. I think I know which direction you're going, Swag. Can Tennessee keep it up?
Yeah, they keep it up, and it's because of those lines of scrimmage, Phil. I think that's going to be the calling card for this football team. And with the hopes of Derrick Henry coming back, if they can continue to win and find other ways without him in the lineup, that only bolsters them going forward. But this defensive line led by Jeffrey Simmons, Danico Autry, Bud Dupree, Harold Landry, these guys are balling out of their mind, and it's resonating on the opposite side of the ball too. Offensive line, very physical. They have not gotten away from their DNA and what they want to do as an offense, and Tannehill is leading the way. I got the Titans. I like what the Tennessee Titans are doing in the absence of Derrick Henry.
They've gone through a gauntlet schedule. They've won every game during that gauntlet portion of the schedule. Now they look to take care of business against a familiar foe in Houston. An old school rivalry in the NFC North as the Packers travel to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this game. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are, of course, the top of the division. Can they continue to roll against Minnesota?
Phil, I struggle with this one so much, but I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings against everything that I feel. But I have to believe that Mike Zimmer and this team has their back against the wall. I believe that this is a season for the Minnesota Vikings. And being that Aaron Jones will be absent from this game, who I think is the second most important player on this team for the Green Bay Packers. Yes, I know. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams have their connection, and Devontae Adams is phenomenal. He's a great wide receiver. Aaron Jones is the engine that makes this thing go, and without him being available, I think that's going to have more of an effect on what Green Bay wants to do from an offensive standpoint. I'm going Minnesota behind Dalvin Cook and Kirk Cousins, Thielen, and Justin Jefferson. They have to get it done. They have no choice.
And Minnesota has been on the wrong end of quite a few close games this year. They'll look to reverse their fortunes on Sunday against Green Bay. The Ravens and Bears both have a bitter taste in their mouth after losing their last games in disappointing fashion. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this one. Swagoo, good to see Justin Fields back on the field. Can he help the Bears pull the upset?
He's going to help the Bears, but they won't pull the upset. I don't remember a time where I saw Lamar Jackson not be a superstar after having an abysmal performance. And we all know last time the Ravens left the field, it was a bad taste in their mouth. I have a feeling that he's going to want to take over this game early and often. And with the news of Khalil Mack being out, that only helps what Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens want to do from an offensive standpoint. Lamar gets going with his arm, he gets going with his leg, and this run game gets going for the Baltimore Ravens, and they get a W.
Perhaps a get-right game for Baltimore after their Week 10 loss to Miami. Next up, the Bears in Week 11. A fun one in the AFC, two teams at 5-4. The Bengals going to the Raiders. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this one. Swagoo, potential playoff implications of this matchup. Who wins it?
I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals field, and it absolutely is not 100% confident. But I believe off of a bye week, a time to self-evaluate, a time to heal up. A lot of injuries, banged up guys on this team. I believe this defensive front will have a chance to affect Derek Carr and also get the ball back into Joe Burrow's hands. This is about Joe Burrow and this offense returning to their explosive nature. I believe they get back to it against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders kind of going the wrong direction recently. Cincinnati could use a big win after a bad loss back in Week 9. We've got an important NFC West matchup. The Seahawks season perhaps on the brinks. They host the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this one. Swagoo, can Russ and the Seahawks pull an upset that they really desperately need?
Phil, I wanted to go with Russ, but I'm going with the Cardinals. After the performance they put up last week, I have to believe it's bounce back time. And this team is a really good football team. They want to get back to their winning ways. And I know they still have some injury concerns as DeAndre Hopkins unavailable in this game. But I do believe the Arizona Cardinals defensively will be able to keep Russ stifled, not give up huge plays, and come away with this victory.
Kyler Murray comes into this game as a game-time decision. He's missed the last two for Arizona due to an ankle injury. Game of the week. The Dallas Cowboys go to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this one. So much to look forward to, but let's keep it simple. Who wins this one?
I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys, Phil, and I believe it's because they're going to make it a slobber knocker. I believe this is going to be a line of scrimmage game. For as much as we talk about Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes and these weapons on the outside, the Dallas Cowboys know that they can do one thing, and that's line down and run the football. And they will test to see if the Kansas City Chiefs can get the run game stifled. If they don't, the score may not be what everybody thinks it will. I got the Dallas Cowboys winning this game at the line of scrimmage.
I just cannot wait to see this one. So much potential offensive horsepower, but maybe it's the defense that decides this game. Sunday Night Football featuring the Los Angeles Chargers hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this one. Swagoo, the Steelers shorthanded on defense with no TJ Watts. Ben Roethlisberger status up in the air. Can they find a way to win this one?
That's why I'm going Los Angeles Chargers. Listen, TJ Watt has that much of an impact on how I determine how the Pittsburgh Steelers will play. And obviously, we know against Justin Herbert, you need to be able to get after the passer. I think they'll suffer in that way. I still like Hayward. I still like Alex Highsmith. I like the way the Pittsburgh Steelers play defense. But without TJ Watt making those game-changing type plays, I believe they give up too many plays to this offense for the Los Angeles Chargers, and that is the story of the day.
Huge opportunity for the Chargers to gain some ground there in the AFC playoff picture. Monday Night Football on ESPN, of course. It's the Buccaneers, led by Tom Brady, hosting the New York Giants, who are coming off of their bye. Field Yates and Marcus Spears here to pick this one. Swagoo, we rarely see Tom Brady lay an egg like he did all the way back in Week 10. Is there any way that he does it again in Week 11?
Babyface, I cannot bet against Tom Brady 3 weeks in a row. I don't remember the last time I've seen him lose 3 games in a row. It may be earlier than I thought, but I cannot remember. I believe he comes out a new focus, a renewed energy. This Tampa Bay Bucs defense has been their Achilles heel. They've been giving up a number of explosive plays. They will find a way to get this pass rush going and affect Daniel Jones into giving the ball away. That's what I believe, and that's why I think the Bucs will win this football game.
Giants getting a little bit healthier, but still a big challenge against the Buccaneers. You can imagine they're ticked off after their last performance.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.